I say a very good morning, a good afternoon and good evening to all on the worldwide DATV Net today, hosted by ZS6YI. I do trust you're all going to have good reception and good videos, and we have a nice amount of participants this afternoon. I also wish to welcome the Magalies Amateur Radio Club. They are a very active amateur radio club in Pretoria, and there's a number of them watching, so we want to welcome them aboard. I was privileged to be their guest speaker yesterday at the AGM, and they had a very, very interesting meeting, and interested people in not only the DATV side, but in QO-100 as a whole. So we gave them an introductory sort of explanation of what we do on the bird, and we certainly hope that some of them will pop up and join us in due course. So welcome to the Magalies Amateur Radio Club, and I hope you guys are going to have a lot of fun. Het was 'n voorreg om julle gister te kon toespreek, en ek hoop daar was iets interessant in die toespraak gewees. Right, let's just swing over to the actual link and let's just see who we have. We've got ZS1 Mike Leon to follow. He's in Worcester in the Cape Province, and then we go all the way up to the UK. Brian, G6 HFS. My goodness, I'm glad you're feeling better, Brian. That's a good message there. We're really happy to hear that. And from Brian, you go to Peter in Wales, a Golf Whiskey 7 Bravo Zulu Yankee. And then Peter, I saw your pictures earlier, very nice. Now you come in right again. Good audio, good pictures, perfect, old man. So well done. And then you go to Michael. Gee whiz, Michael, I haven't heard or seen you for a long time in Spain. Echo Alpha 7 Kilo India Radio. It'll be lovely to see you again, Michael. And then to Frank. Frank, I saw your tests a bit earlier, especially the one of the guy playing the piano. That was excellent. Nice music, nice audio quality. I wouldn't mind if you put that on again, so that the guys on the Magalies Amateur Radio Club can see and hear for themselves what good quality is about. And then, so that's Frank, Golf 8 Papa Quebec Hotel. And then Frank to Nick, Golf 4 India Mike Oscar. Nice to see you on, Nick, again. And then all the way to Holland, and that's Papa Echo 1 Alpha Victor Papa. And let's see if I heard something going. That's all, Paul. You say not much to report, but you always have an excellent signal and good audio. And you are an interesting guy without having anything to report. Anyway, so this is going to be a nice afternoon, I'm sure. And I certainly hope the Magalies Amateur Radio Club will enjoy the DATV live transmission via YouTube as well. And hopefully one of these days they will all be monitoring on their own receivers. So, Leon, can you start your engines and tell us what you've been up to? It sounded interesting when we spoke on the phone just now. ZS1. Mexico to please take it from ZS.
Okay, Gary, I think you've cut yourself short. Well, I thought so, but I think somebody else came up on top of you. Just before you signed your signal went off. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody on the bird. Okay, and I see a nice list again for a change, hey? It just shows you, Gary. You've got the magic karma. Yes. What have I been doing here? I'm busy getting my packaging system right. And I'm building a rocket for the work. And what I spoke to Gary about is I bought a new laptop, and I installed various programs on it, SDR console for the SSB, and also scan and tune and mini tuner programs for watching TV. So now I can operate fully portable, and we are now testing my new power supply on this main computer for my transmit, the one that only allowed me 10 minutes of transmission before. Well, I've had it running for over an hour last week, and it's doing fine, the new power supply. So the problem was the power supply. It would go for 10 minutes and then just switch off. It just goes tick and it's off. And then you have to let the whole lot cool down. Anyway, then of course I have another problem. I order lots of things. I buy lots of things online, and I never have a problem, except lately. Whoever uses Buffalo to do their shipping, they don't know where I live. I use the same address as registered on eBay, exactly the same for everybody throughout the world, whether it comes from the UK or from Holland or from Germany or from China. It's the same address that's in my registration on eBay. But when somebody uses Buffalo, in the past it worked very well, but lately, the last 3 things I ordered that came with them, I get I think it's a SMS. It's not a WhatsApp. I think it's a SMS. So they know my phone number. That they can read. My address is incomplete. They cannot ship. Now, how the heck? I mean, the whole world knows where I live. How come they can't find my place? It's incredible. So last night I wrote them a letter again. You can't communicate to Buffalo anymore. In the past, you could phone them up in Joburg. They've got an office in Joburg. You cannot anymore. It's very, very difficult to communicate with them. So yeah, that's one of my frustrations lately. Anyway, let's see. Brian, nice to see you on again. And Peter, I hope you've got the hiss and the swishing out of your audio. Michael, my partner in audio quality. Nice to see you. And Frank, yes. And Nick. And Paul, with all the nice instruments. So, yeah. Brian, I give it to you for now. G6HFS. For the group from ZS1 Mike in Worcester. That's 70 miles from Cape Town. Not in the UK, not in America. The UK, not in America.
Oh, audio works. Mute that. Let's find a picture. Oh. Hi, well, hi again. Afternoon, morning, evening. See if we've got an image. We've got one? Oh, there we go. Yeah, still not up to 100%. That being a problem with my immune system, that COVID, I managed to miss it all the way through when it was going on back in 1920 and 21 and etc, etc. Go to niece's wedding 3 weeks ago, boom. Gosh, I never had anything like it. My immune system just took a dive and left me sort of really low. It's only this week I've sort of got back in the shack, so it's put me off doing a few bits and pieces that I had started building a 77 amp. Have a look somewhere. Let me remember how to work it. That's the driver. It's a little PA driver for it. For 77s. It wants a bit more than that, the amp. I'm getting about 80 out of it at the moment. But that's only for about a watt in. But I've got another little amplifier here I need to try. There's a low pass filter I've got to finish off. Started it, as you can see, didn't get very far. Got to put all the forward and reverse components on. That's the little NEC board, 77s. It's my usual setup, PTT control, BIOS, etc. And that's the little PCB for preamp. Give me a bit more power, but I say I need a bit more, which I'm looking to do. That's about all I've really been up to. I'll say I've not been feeling too great at all. Let's just put it back to me. Oh well, let's have a look. Are we holding up? Oh yeah, that's not too bad. We seem to be fine. First time the amplifier's been used in earnest. Must be fairly cool. Fans haven't come on yet. So there we go, that's about it. I'm still a bit nasally and get tired very quick. But hopefully that'll start to ease a bit better. Seems to have left me with funny a sense of smell and taste. Not lost all of it, just some stuff tastes a bit funny, which is weird. In your palate. But getting round to feeling not too bad. Anyway, I'm going to say 7.3s for this over, as I shall just sit out and watch for the rest of this afternoon. But anyway, nice to see everybody and get on. Talk about it and the fans come on. There we go. 47 degrees, that'll do. It's set to come on at 45. Right, I think I'll hand it round to Peter then. GW7 BZY, Peter. I'll say 7.3s both and won't come on for a second. 7.3s, round to you, Peter.
Hopefully somebody's seeing a picture, because I'm not. I'm just in black. Don't know what's going on. Why is it? Ah, there we go. For some reason, I don't know if it was on everybody's computer or was it just mine? That looks a bit strange. I look all purple with my hands. Anyway, all good. Thanks for the intro there, Gary. I was no pressure, and of course it all went wrong for some reason. Yeah, all good. Computer. I'm sort of pondering getting a new computer myself. Since this one seems to be going a bit too slow for NVIDIA broadcaster these days, so I'm probably going to have to purchase another one. But there we are. Just for information, I'm 137 miles from Worcester, but not the same Worcester. I don't think so. As in South Africa, Worcester, UK. The weather here today has been sunny, which is unusual for this time of year. It has been, at the moment, should I say, it has been bucketing it down all of yesterday pretty much, and most of today, this morning at least. But things have improved. What have I been doing? Not a lot, really, radio-wise. Nothing. In fact, I was spurred on to make a little bit of an improvement in the picture front because of Gary's remarks there, and Leon's remark, I did see myself on YouTube, and the audio was absolutely terrible. It's still terrible, but now I'm using broadcaster noise reduction. I have my PA going flat out about 4 or 5 feet away from me. I used to have a little bucky regulator that slowed it down, but I found it was getting a bit too hot, so I thought it'd be wiser to suffer the noise rather than wear out the amplifier prematurely with overheating, etc. Because if you leave it on, it does overheat quite quickly. Not that I go for much broadcasting for long periods. That's about it. Good picture from you, Gary. Outstanding. You too, Leon. And the COVID. I'm been lucky so far. Although I've had the COVID, I think at least once. It hasn't really done me any harm. Fingers crossed. And I've just had the flu vaccine, a Phoebe flu vaccine. So hopefully that will do the job, because the wife got flu, I think last year, January. And it nearly killed her. So you've got to watch out for flu as well, not to be underestimated. But there we are. I said, so we've got fibre optic internet here now, and I think a larger part of the area is converting to fibre optic. So I'm ever hopeful that the noise floor will drop a little bit, and I'll be able to work some HF. That would be fantastic. I've got a HF radio. I've got a Yaesu FT100D. It's an old thing. It's like a mobile. It looks like a CB really, but it's a shack in a box. It's got HF 70 centimeters, 56 meters, 4 meters, I think, and UHF and VHF. So just the business. Not very exciting, but no display, no waterfall digital display like we used to. But I'm sure it'd do the job if you could get a signal. And puts 100 watts out, so I think it's quite adequate in the power respect as well. So big excitement would be a new PC. I'm looking at Intel. I wonder what you've got, Gary. I'm thinking about Intel's latest, because I believe that Arrow Lake and Lunar Lake, which is the Core Ultra 9 285, which runs on a Lunar Lake motherboard, has built-in VVC decoding. And did read somewhere, according to AI Google, it has encoding, but I think AI Google is confused. It makes stuff up. It's definitely, I think it has been mentioned that it's got hardware decoding, which would be quite useful, and quite a good onboard graphic. So you can use the Optimus and use both the graphics card and the internal, etc. So that's pondering at the moment. That's going to ponder me, see if I can get it round the wife and tell her I want to buy a new motorbike, which she doesn't like motorbikes, and then I'll buy a computer instead. I should be happy about that. So I think that's the path I need to tread. Anybody got any advice on that? From GW7BZY with a test card with Cube Zoom. There we are. This is something. Yeah, I think it's one I use usually.
Yeah, well, it seemed to be working. Yes, they said, I think everything's working. Yes, of course it is. Why wouldn't it? Touch wood. Yeah, it's been a long time, Gary. I've been watching most weeks actually, and I decided to come on this time because I haven't been on for a while, and I'd seen the numbers dwindle. A few weeks ago it was down to about 3 people, I think, but it has built up a little bit since. But today is more or less back to normal, I suppose, now. I think you got about 8 or something, I don't know. Something like that, 8 or 9, I can't count. So that's pretty good. But I thought I'd just come on to support you because I'd hate this, you know, for you to give up this net just because there's not many people. So I had no need to come, really, did I? I've got nothing to say, you know. I've done. Yeah, the weather over here is. Let's talk about the weather. Yeah, it's terrible. Actually, it's too hot. It's too hot to go out. And it's. I don't know. It gets worse every year. It's going to be a desert soon, I think. I'm serious about that. But then I'm a pessimist, as Peeler keeps telling me. And then there's been holidays and things, you know. I've even watched the net while I've been on holiday. Took a laptop with me. So RF-wise, absolutely zilch. But that's not my real interest at the moment. My real interest is messing around with software. But on the RF side, I have actually bought 2 Libra SDRs. I've had them about a month now, and I haven't. I just powered them up to see if they worked, and then put them back in a box. When I say see if they work, I mean, did it light up? You know, that's about as far as I got. I'm bogged down in this software. For those that don't know, and I think probably most of you do, because I'm always harping on about it, I'm writing some software for a repeater, which in my view is a novel way of approaching it. And if I'm successful, it would be easier to build than what people do at the moment. In other words, it doesn't use an external encoder, and it doesn't use an external HDMI switch. It's a bit like SDR television, really, but for repeaters. And so I've grabbed the name SDR repeater. I thought I'd get in first on that one, because it's not copyrighted, so you can't really do anything about that. But yeah, it seemed like a good name. Yeah, audio, Leon. Yeah, audio. I am proving yet again, what all video engineers and RF experts have not a clue, that audio is actually more difficult than any of those things. And it's proving to be the same in this software I'm writing. It's very difficult. And then, you know, even if you manage to get the audio going through, you've got to get it in sync with the pictures, because as soon as it gets into the loop, it's out of sync, and then you've got to try and get it back again later. The problem then, of course, is repeaters switch at random to an incoming source, whether it's from the BAT streamer or from the RF receiver, obviously. And of course, the Libra SDR can do both. I haven't a clue how to do it at the moment, by the way, but I know it can be done, because Simon's doing it, you know, because he doesn't share his code, so I can't. Mandy, he's on Windows anyhow, so it wouldn't help me, because all this runs on Debian, actually, on a mini PC, So it's a repeater on a mini PC. So yeah, audio's extremely difficult, and people don't seem to appreciate that, and I'm struggling with it. AI, Peter mentioned AI. Yeah, I do use it for inspiration and clues. You can actually ask it to write functions, or you could actually ask it to write a whole bloody application if you wanted to. But that will be guaranteed to be absolute rubbish. But if you just say, if you've got a problem, you know, something, you've got this much code on the screen, and there's one line that's causing problems, or maybe it won't even compile, you can say, fix it. It's really clever. And it will come up with a suggestion. And if you approve of the suggestion, you just click a button and it inserts it in and replaces the bit that wasn't working. And then if you're lucky, it might have solved it. And I would say there's a 50-50 chance that it will solve it, actually. It's fairly good for minor tasks like that, and also for inspiration and clues about how you might go about something. But these claims that all software is written by AI, well, I don't think that's true, and I suspect it never will. And the reason is, of course, that I've got a load of stuff on my GitHub page, mostly in private repositories, but it scans those. You can't keep anything away from these AI crawlers. They're crawling everywhere, and there's tons, and they crawl each other as well. So they're just regurgitating, crappy code that I've written, and basing their answers on that. Quite often they're basing the answer on somebody that raised a question in one of the forums, what is it, Stacker, whatever it is, Exchange, something, I can't remember the name. Well, you can find that out for yourself, just by doing a normal Google search. So it does have its uses. So, yeah, one problem I'm having at the moment, and it's a problem that anyone can solve if they've got a brain better than mine, which is pretty weak. If you have a front panel or a user interface and you've got a button or a switch that turns the power on and off, or maybe it turns something else on and off, or enables or disables or something, and you want it to use colours, maybe you've got an LED that shows it's on and another colour for off. Now, which do you use? Like, say you're going to use red and green. Would you use red for on and green for off? Or would you use it the other way around? Because to me, red always means danger. So one interpretation is, oh, don't put your fingers inside, it's hot. You might get a shock. It's red for danger, it's on. But I mean, my television in the lounge is red for off. So I don't know. I'm interested to know people's comments on that. Maybe there's a convention for this. I don't know. In the electrical engineering world, or maybe even in the electronics. I don't know. So if anybody's got any ideas on that, I'm very interested to hear your comments on that. I'm sure we won't get a definitive answer, but maybe somebody knows. So that's it for me on this round. I'll come back on it. I'll have even less to say on the next one, but I think I've gabbed on far too long. So where are we going? We're going to Frank. Yes, Frank, GAPQH. Over to you, Frank, from EA7KIR in Spain on the worldwide net.
Hi, Michael. Thanks very much.
Hi, Michael.
Just checked that I had some audio there. EA7KIR from G8PQH with the worldwide net from sunny Chelsea Bill. It was very nice to see you back, Gary. I haven't been on a couple of times over the past couple of months, and once when there was just a couple of people on. But I've been, was I last week? I was in Cornwall. It's about the first time I've had away from work for months and months and months. They're driving me bonkers. Yeah, you noticed the music. My son is a musician, lives in Mexico in a place called Playa del Carmen, which is on the Caribbean coast there. And I don't see him very often. Obviously, it's a long time away. And he occasionally sends me videos of various projects and things that he's composing or writing. And yeah, I've occasionally used this short film just for the looking at the synchronization between the fingers and the piano keys. So I'll put a brief bit of this back on for the watchers in the radio club there in South Africa. Very good afternoon to all of you. I'm not sure if you're going to appreciate it or not, but there you go. Yes, so that's his copyright, I think, used with permission. No doubt, if I'm wrong and it's a jazz standard, Peter will be able to put me right. No doubt. Please, Brian's feeling a bit better. You look fine. Slightly pink, but I think that's my monitor. And your 70 centimeters amplifier look quite impressive. I've got a Chinese one that I need to try and put together. It's quite a well-known one that should put about, I suppose, well, the DATV not too much, 10-20 watts, I suppose, about 100 watts for narrowband. Peter, you mentioned ADSL noise. I'm rather hoping to get rid of some of the noise. We've just had fibre here, and there's quite a lot of it going in sunny Chelsea. I do have a half-finished HF project that I'm working on, based on this. Let me put the other camera on. Make a lot more sense, wouldn't it? Yes, it's based on the circuit board that I found in a set of junk circuit boards, which is the main board from an Anan 100D SDR, which was quite popular, I suppose, or relatively popular about 10 years ago. And I've got that working with the Thetis software, and I just need to get more than about 5 milliwatts out of it. Originally there was 2 boards in this unit, presumably, and the second one was a PA and a filter unit. So I was thinking of using the this unit here, which is a 20 watt PA that I've built up from one of Hans Summer's designs, and a low pass filter array. So maybe it will all go back together again. Maybe I can control it from a Raspberry Pi and not have a PC. I guess with a lot of work I could sort of endlessly replicate what something like a Xiegu G90, but perhaps not quite as good. Let's see. So who is on next? Nick, G4IMO. I know something that'll make you jealous, Nick. I got a trip out to Radio Caroline, to the Ross Revenge, a voucher for my birthday the other week. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, let's put up a test card and I will hand it over to you, Nick. So this is G8 PQH in sunny Selseyville. And I think the next to take it is Nick G4IMO.
Yeah, okay, Frank, thanks for that. Just make sure I've got some audio here before I start rattling on. Hang on. Right. Is it working? Yes, I think so. Right, good afternoon, everybody. Excuse me. I had planned to come on last weekend. I came in the shack and switched everything on. And when I started up DATV Easy, when you start it, you should end up with two green indicators to show that everything's all right. But I only had one, so it was not working properly. So couldn't transmit. And anyway, after the net, I sort of had to play around with it, and I came. What it was, when you go into the configuration, you have a choice of what you're going to use, whether it's an NVIDIA graphics card or Intel or whatever. Or anyway, so it worked on soft, and it worked on if I selected Intel. But when I selected my graphics card, it wasn't working. Didn't work. So after a lot of head scratching and searching on the internet, I came to the conclusion that maybe I should update the driver for that. So I found a link there, and I managed to update the driver to the graphics card, and mysteriously it all started to work again. So fingers crossed. Anyway, computers, that's computers for her. Anyway, before I forget, Frank, Radio Caroline, if you go on there, I think it's still on there, but if you look on their home page, last weekend they had a competition, and the one of the prizes that you could win was a Panasonic small transistor radio, and if you have a look at the home page of Radio Caroline, there's a list on there of who the winners of the competition were, and one of those listed is my XYL. She is now the owner of a transistor radio. It's only a simple little thing. It's got AM and FM on it, but I looked it up on the internet. They sell for about £20, £22, something like that. Anyway, it works very well. It's very good. Anyway, what have I been doing? Well, the weather here has been turned very cold. It's just like autumn now. A few days ago it was 25 degrees, 26 degrees centigrade, lovely and warm out there, but the wind has gone round to the north, and it's only 14 degrees now, so I think winter's not far away anyway. Interference, yes. For anybody who's following my story regarding interference with the next door neighbour's house, which has been empty for some considerable time, and somebody came to clear it out and they left the light switched on, so I had interference, which I think it's an LED light, but it was on all the time, 24 hours a day, wiping out the whole of shortwave. Couldn't hear anything. Anyway, update on that is somebody came and they switched it off, and they've now the property is now on the market, so they're going to sell that. So it looks like we're going to be getting new neighbours, so that'll be interesting. But anyway, even though it's switched off, I've still got an S8 noise level here. It's hopeless. We've got overhead wires, both for electricity and for telephone. So they're talking about ADSL. That's just white noise. I mean, it's just everywhere. So 80 meters is just S8, you know, it's crazy. And we've got a couple of properties close here that have got solar panels on them as well, and I'm convinced they produce some interference. So I've been trying out different aerials and things. So I decided to make this E-probe. Everybody talked about this E-probe, but they're mainly meant for LF, you know, if you want to receive SAQ, for example, on 17.2 kilohertz or that sort of frequency, low frequency stuff. But I'm just curious to know whether it worked on higher frequencies. Anyway, it works very well. If you want it for long wave, it works very well. Medium wave is very good. 3.5, 7, 14 and 21 megs is also very, very good. But 28 megs, nothing, absolutely nothing. It rolls off very steeply at about 24 megahertz. I don't know why. I'll just put the circuit up here in a minute. There's the circuit diagram. Why it's suddenly roll off at around 24 megahertz, I don't know. There's nothing really on there to suggest why. But anyway, so the little probe is here. It's just a little printed circuit board. Tiny little surface mount components. They could have used surface mount, but a much bigger size, because there's loads of room on the printed board. So I don't know why they use such small circuits, but that's the little probe anyway. And it comes with this printed board here, which is just to feed the 12 volts up the cable. And if you look very closely on this picture, right in the center of your picture, look right in the center, you can see a white tube. Can you see hanging in that tree there? There's a white tube hanging on a piece of nylon washing line. If I go back to me, if you're going to put something outside, the main problem is the thing about moisture. So I thought, well, I'm going to put it in, and these are very handy. You can get these from your local supermarket. High strength vitamin C tablets. So I drilled a hole in the here for so that's the coaxial cable output, and also these 12 volts up to the printed board inside, and then drilled a tiny little hole in the top, and this cap comes off here. This cap comes off there, and if I shake this, can you hear that? Inside, because it's got these tablets in there, inside this cap there are silica gel inside here. So providing you seal up the little holes, once you drill the holes and you push that back on there, then you hopefully some of that silica gel will take away some of the moisture. So anyway, so that's what I used, and as I say, it works excellent on long wave. Medium wave is very good. It'll be interesting to see how that performs in the winter, because I like tuning around medium wave in the winter. You can hear some of the high powered American stations coming in, which is quite good. I think that's about it. Oh, LEDs. To me, I would use red for off and green for on myself. But anyway, oh, and the other thing, there's a chap who used to regularly come onto the net. That was Paul, OE8PCK. I did hear today that he is in hospital, but I've no further information. So hopefully he's okay. Right. Okay. And yeah, COVID. I haven't caught COVID as such, but I did have the COVID vaccine, and one of the side effects of that was I lost my sense of smell, which lasted a long time. I can't remember, but I'm all right now. But yeah, that was the only thing. Once I had the vaccine, that took away my sense of smell for a while. That's about it, I think. Right, so I don't know who's next. Let me just have a look on the list here. Right, so round to Paul, PE1 AVP G4IMO.
So, I check audio. Yeah, it seems to work. That is nice. I do have sufficient output power, so you should be able to see me. Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening for everybody who's watching the net at the moment. Gary, thanks a lot again for hosting the net. At least it brings more activity. That's how I read it. Looking outside, it is sunny, about 16 degrees at the moment, and that is really, really wonderful after nearly a whole week of rain and storm in the Netherlands. And well, that was hard, to me at least, because we spent about 4 weeks in Austria, really had summer with temperatures up to 36 degrees, and then within a week you enter in autumn. Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, actually, looking back at all stations, I was able to receive you all well, so no complaints from my side. And I hope that you will be able to receive me well too. Regarding your last remark, Nick, Paul PCK from Austria, well, he had spine surgery for the reason that, well, there was a problem in his spine, and that led to really a painful leg. And what I understood that was that the surgery was successful. So that is good news, but he had to stay a bit longer in hospital. That's my latest information. But he is doing well. Yeah, as reported already, there's not much to report from this side because nothing exciting happened last week, I can say. I simply wanted to show my face. And also since I'm unable to do that next week. So that's information for next week already. Okay, what happened last week? Yeah, I had to go for inspection with my restored MGTD, a 1950 MGTD, to Amsterdam. And the reason for inspection is that after restoration you want to get your license plate back again. So the license plate has to be activated by the inspection office. Well, it did rain cat and dogs last week. That was a really nice coincidence. Drove the MG on the trailer to Amsterdam, arrived there. Well, I announced, of course, at the entrance at the office that I did arrive, and I got the statement, oh, well, you can go because nothing is known about your car. That was really, really interesting. Well, what you have to know that I invited them already before I started my inspection, before I started my restoration, for the simple reason that if there's only a, let's say, small kind of evidence that your car is stolen or so, then you will not be able to activate the license plate again. So I wanted to be absolutely sure. And that meant that an inspector came home and did his inspections on the identification of the chassis, on the identification on the engine, and so on. And that was all okay. I did receive documents for it. They did label the car. So after I became angry, it was rather simple to convince the guy, no, this car should be known. And I want to have it inspected now. Okay. Now, at that time I was allowed to drive the car in, and then he made the statement, oh no, you did ask for the wrong inspection. And we don't have the time available today to do this inspection. So I had to become angry again because I was in 20 minutes early. So in total there was more than an hour left to do the full inspection. Well, I think this is English humor. They were most cooperative, I can say. Well, finally, they did start inspection, did test all kinds of things, and they found two important things for which I did not receive the activation of my license. And that is that, well, the first thing indeed that is important, the front brakes were not braking evenly. So that has to be readjusted. And the second thing, which was most important to them, that was that two reflectors were missing. That is not original on this car, but yeah, following Dutch regulation, there have to be reflectors at the rear end of the car. Okay, well, regarding the brakes, what you have to understand that the front brakes have two brake cylinders at each side, and also two brake pads, and the cylinders push into the drums. There are adjustment screws inside which you can adjust, and that regulates the amount of space between the brake pad and the brake drum. So the only thing which I have to do that is adjusting that, and I could not do that at the inspection site due to the fact that there are no adjustment holes in the wheel rim. On later cars that was made that way, so what I think I'm gonna do, that is drilling a hole in the wheel rim such that I'm able to adjust it during inspection. Well, okay, the car is rejected. I have to come back within 8 weeks. So that was a bit frustrating, of course, after a lot of preparation and bringing the car there in pouring rain. Yeah, next week I won't be available here since I will be taking my new mobile home out. Or is it reverse? No, doesn't matter. But at least we will be some days away. Let's have a look back at your contributions. Okay, Leon is always building and launching rockets. I made that remark yeah, more times already. If you've got something on video, we would like to see that, Leon. Okay, understood your interesting address problems. Well, I do receive my stuff, independent whether it's eBay or Ali. I did receive some components to repair my fault-graphed power supply. So hopefully I will be able to do that in the next days to come. Brian, good that you're feeling better. I understood that you were suffering from COVID or something like that. I did enjoy the images of the power amplifiers and filters. Yeah, uh, Peter, uh, your wife enjoys the fact that you bought a computer instead of a motorbike. That is a interesting comparison, at least. Michael, it's a long time ago that I saw you on the net. You always watched it, but did not transmit. Okay. You bought two Libre SDRs. That's interesting. I think basically Libre SDRs are good equipment, but one thing is important. Always try to boot from the micro SD card, because otherwise you could end up in trouble. There's also an SPI, what's it? SPIS? SPI flash memory on it, and of course you can flash the firmware into that internal memory, but many times I heard from people that the SDR gets bricked. And as long as you boot from a micro SD card, this will never happen. Okay. Yeah, you were also talking about artificial intelligence. That is the 10 minutes beep. Artificial intelligence. It was interesting. I saw a video, I think 2 weeks ago, from Martin Eberhard. He's the founder of Tesla. And he talked about AI, and he made a statement that he said, yeah, AI really very interesting development, but I don't use it because AI always, or sometimes also provides wrong answers. If you confront AI with that wrong answer, then it will persist in the old statement. And he said that is something that I really don't like on artificial intelligence. Well, most probably that problem will be solved too, but I found it an interesting statement at least. Okay, Frank, yeah, interesting to see the old Anan hardware and the Fetus software. Yeah, to my opinion, that is still nice. And Nick, yeah, you talked about the interference level from which you think that it comes out of the house of the neighbor. Well, yeah, also here, I'm not living in a rural area. There are a lot of houses with solar panels and so on. So the noise levels that you receive is actually also what I yeah, experience here in Limmen. It's exactly the same. So it is nearly impossible to do something on HF, and for that reason I'm really happy with the satellites. Yeah, then the amplifier cutoff point, I had a quick look at the printed circuit board and the inductors that you're using. I would suspect the inductors, especially the one on the last stage in the collector side. Have a look at it. And then I also understood, but that's English humor, of course, that Nick uses vitamin C for radio. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, that's it from the Netherlands. I think my contribution, microphone and camera, go back to Gary after I did show my test card.
Okay, Paul, excellent over. Just waiting for my signal to come up. There we go. Okay, Paul, very nice over indeed. While I have the YouTube going here, I just want to welcome the following. That's Nigel Reeve. He says good afternoon today. And then Ashley Booth. That's a Golf Echo 8 Delta Papa Hotel. He says hello from Spielplatz. I've never heard of that in the UK. Spielplatz. Sounds like a German name. And then Peter Rudolph, OE6DZF, stroke DK3 Zulu Fox. Hello, everyone, and hello to you, Peter. You're always on. Nice to see you. And then Charlie Pretorius, ZA6 Charlie Romeo Romeo. ZA6 Charlie Romeo Romeo. He's part of the, I know it's a difficult name for people that don't speak German or Dutch to say, Magaliesberg. That's just north of Pretoria. Pretoria North Club. And his call sign is ZA6CRR. As well as from Pierre Smith, ZA6 Papa Sierra. He was at the meeting yesterday. And I did say hi to Nigel. And hello, Michael, Mike Willis. He is at the moment watching from Geneva. We really look forward to your feedback, Mike, and that's all I'll say about the subject. Sorry, I couldn't come up yesterday on 10 meters or the day before even, but I see you were on, and I hope you made some contacts. Bands are quite nice, actually. I run the ZA6DN beacon from one of my factories, and we're getting good results all over the place. So conditions aren't bad at all. And then again, hello, Nigel. Yeah, Mike, you say, I see Gary has a Onslog in the bird. Onslog in, what? I don't know. Hope it's working, Mike. Anyway, yeah, we spoke about your wonderful potty yesterday as well. Showed the guys what it's all about, and they were quite intrigued with the clever idea of using part of the potty as a waveguide. So that was good thinking, good engineering. Okay, what else is there to comment on? Let's just go through the list. Yeah, Leon, I wish you well on your new computer, or your laptop. That sounds good. And I see you've got SDR console working again, so that's fine. And you must just get the beacon to lock onto your frequency, then you're cooking on gas. Brian, yeah, pleased to see you are feeling a lot better, and good to see you back on, and interesting over from you as usual. And yeah, those lights can cause terrible problems, there's no doubt. And that's why the satellite's a bit of a godsend really to that. And you know, I know two guys that are fastidious when it comes to audio quality. Oh, slug sensor. Okay, yeah. I got you. Sorry, I'm just reading what Mike said on the YouTube link. Anyway, coming back to the LED problem, that's one of the good things having the satellite. We don't suffer that, and of course we've got good audio, so I think that's going to attract more people. Peter, you put through a good signal, excellent signal today, GW7BZY. Video was good, audio was fine, and all good. And yeah, coming back to fastidious audio, that's ZS1 Mike, and of course, Michael, EA7KIR. That was a good over from you, Michael. Very interesting indeed. So we enjoyed that. It's good that you come up every now and then from Spain, but you say it'll be a desert soon. Well, perhaps global warming is working. I'm not so sure. In South Africa, we still get cold winters, not as cold as the UK, but it's a very icy cold. It goes right through you because we're quite high above sea level. Frank, G8PQH, yeah, your son's got talent. Let me tell you, I play the electronic organ, and to play that little piece of jazz that he did there, it's not easy. You've got to be very dexterous in the fingers, I can tell you. So congratulations to him there. And then, yeah, the interesting question is, should it be red or green? Well, there are two schools of thoughts. That's often pondered. I've often pondered that very thing. But I believe red is when you're transmitting. You put red on because it's danger, you're going out, and green is standby. But you can decide your own philosophy and it'll be correct, I'm sure. I don't know if there is any laid down protocol about that. Perhaps there is. I never discovered that in electronic engineering. But guys that work like at the South African Broadcasting Corporation, as what Leon did, maybe he can throw some light on that. And then, yeah, Paul, also excellent over from you. But the moral of the story, when you go for a test, you are humble, you eat humble pie, you do not get angry, because as sure as damn it, they will find something. And it'll be something very insignificant, which will be blown out of all proportion. And I talk from a lot of experience with quality control people from BMW, Mercedes, Volkswagen, Toyota. They're all the same, these QC guys. If you give them the slightest bit of flack, they will find something, and they'll do it on purpose. So they'll go to the nth degree. So rather have a Coca-Cola around as not as a gift, but would you like a Coke? That's a much easier approach, but I understand your total frustration. Anyway, so be it. It's happened, and now you just have to adjust those brakes. They've got a point, but man, that little bit that it takes, by the time you've really applied your brakes, you should be okay. However, get that right, and then make sure there's nothing else, because now they've done that, now they'll find something else, and you'll have to go back again, if they want to be vindictive. I hope not. I hope not. Right, we'll have the final over now, and then we'll call it a day. And we did welcome everybody on YouTube as well. So, ZS1 Mexico, Mexico. Leon, will you kindly take it, please, from ZS6YI?
Okay, thanks, Gary. ZS6YI in the group, ZS1MM. And my computer is still working, so I think we've proven the new power supply. Okay, right, let's go down the list. Brian, yes, nice, the 77 amp there. I also built one, put one in a box, not yesterday, day before yesterday, for my friend who's a land surveyor, and he uses this differential stuff. So he has a little beacon that he puts up on a measured point, and this thing transmits corrections. But seeing that we live in a very mountainous area of South Africa, not flat like there where Gary is, we have high mountains and hills and things, and those things are designed for line of sight. It's on UHF. As a matter of fact, it's in the 70 centimeter band. How the heck the Germans got that right to use the 70 centimeter band for commercial stuff, I don't know. But anyway, he asked me, can I make him a repeater for this thing? I said, yeah, it's going to be very difficult unless you can offset your receiving frequency and so on. So I'd rather just make you a little amplifier, and we just push up the power a bit and use a decent antenna. So I did that. And instead of 1 watt, he now has 10 watts from his beacon. But I used one of these modules, you know, those Mitsubishi modules, and I just put it in a box, and it runs off 12 volts, and it works very well. It's got way too much gain, so I had on the input I had to build a 20 dB attenuator. Or else his transmitter would blow out the front end of the amplifier. Okay, so that's that. Peter, GW7BZY. Oh, noise. I have a long story. My next door neighbor here, I found out that, yeah, I couldn't use, for the last couple of years, I couldn't use HF at all. S9, day and night. At first I thought maybe it's the street lights, because they replaced them all with LED stuff. But no, daytime exactly the same level. So I said to him, I walk around with my little medium wave portable radio, and yeah, when I get to the fence there on his side, there's so I said to him, you know, won't you, I'll give you one of my walkie-talkies, so this license-free stuff, and I can talk to you. You go to your switchboard and switch things off, and I'll tell you when the noise disappears. And he did it. He's a nice guy. And I said, that one. He said, okay, that's plugs, some of the plugs. I said, okay, now go to all the plugs. And we found out that it was his security cameras. He's got three networks, security cameras, and they have these switch mode power supplies. And I swapped him. I said to him, okay, I'll give you some decent switch mode supplies, 12 volt, 1.5 amp or whatever. And that made the world's difference. So he said, yeah, you can chuck those old ones, bury them, whatever. They're not even in a metal case, they're in a plastic case. He didn't understand it, because he said the cameras that were closest to me, he actually moved them to the front of the house, which is far from me. I said, no. It's got nothing to do with the cameras. That stuff gets modulated onto the mains. And I opened one of his supplies and I showed him the mains goes directly onto the rectifier bridge. No filtering whatsoever. Anyway, then I said to him, okay, it's 99% better now, but I still hear a little something there. I kill the mains on my house, so there's nothing running at my place. My radios are running off a lithium battery. There's still something. And he went to the switchboard, and there I said, no, now it's total silence. Now I'm in the Karoo, there in the desert, where there's no power. Beautiful. What did you switch off? No, it was a kitchen light. He's got one of these double fluorescent fittings, but it's not fluorescence anymore, it's LED. And of course, they also don't have filters in. So yesterday, I first tried to do just one tube and see, but it's very difficult. I went and bought another tube and fitted the filter inside the end cap. I removed the end cap where the little inverter is. I first had to x-ray it to find out which end the little inverter is, or controller or whatever, for this LED strip. Fortunately, I was right. I marked the one end with a cross, and then I took an x-ray and vrachtig, that's the one. Anyway, fitted that, but I had the cap rotated 180 degrees, so the wiring went wrong. When he tried it, he just blew the fuse. So I said, okay, no. Maybe we should fit it onto your fitting. Then it's both tubes killed in the same job. So he came here with a whole fitting, took it off the roof, and he brought it here. I said, okay, fine. And I fitted the filter inside, and he took it back yesterday evening, and the noise is gone. I can now work HF fantastic. So yeah, that's noise. Peter, your video was nice. Your audio is a zillion times better than when I heard you last, but you now sound like medium wave. You've lost your high fidelity. You sound like a good medium wave station, not like a hi-fi station, which at one stage your audio was brilliant. It hasn't got that high frequency response now. But all the hissing and swimming and funny noises are gone. That definitely is. But I don't know why you keep on changing. Go back to where you started. That was fine. Okay, right. Michael, STR repeater. Oh my goodness, that sounds very, very complicated. I can't talk with you about that. The red and green. Well, in my arena of where I work, when you have a lot of electronic equipment, you want to see green when it's working. If anything comes up red, there's a fault, or it's in standby or something. But you don't want to see, and also in aviation, you don't want to see red. Green or yellow or even blue is acceptable, but not red. The only place where red is, as Gary says, on a radio, especially on the walkie-talkies, when the squelch goes open, you get a green light. And when you PTT, when you're transmitting, you get a red light. That's normal convention. But for large installations where you have a lot of things, you want to see green. Like here on my scan and tune, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green lights on. That's the way it should be. Then everything is working fine when it's green. Okay, so that's a red light. Frank with the HF amp, yeah, nice. I also built a 20 watt one at some stage, And the music, yes. Unfortunately, Frank, your own lip sync is quite some way off. So, and your son was playing, so those rapid jazz thingies that one really couldn't see whether it was in or out of sync, because you are out of sync as you're talking. So you can perhaps have a check on that. Right, Nick, your ePro. Yes, I've built that circuit myself. I use it for VLF stuff and so on. Well, it could be the chokes, as Paul says, the inductors. But that first FET, that's an old junction FET. Their input capacity is quite high. And it could be that thing that's choking the 10 meters. I would replace that if I were you with a dual gate MOSFET or something, which is very, very low capacity. Obviously more sensitive to static and stuff, but there were diodes in the front. Of course, check the capacity of those protection diodes as well. If the capacity is too high, it's also going to choke the high frequency. Anyway, that's my penny's worth of information on your eProbe. And then Paul, yes, like Gary said, with the car inspection. We're fortunate here. Just about every town in South Africa, or reasonably sized town, has an inspection facility at the traffic department, where they will inspect your car and certify it. We don't have to put it on a trailer and take it to some major city. I don't have to go to Cape Town or Johannesburg or whatever to have my car certified. And as a matter of fact, I can drive it from my house to the inspection station down the road, if need be. So yeah, that's it from me here in Worcester, South Africa. 70 miles from Cape Town. Not any of the other places. So please bring my parcel. It's HDMI. Transmitter and receiver link to link HDMI video. I want to play with that a little bit for my remote controlled camera that I want to set up on the launch pad. Oh yeah, when we finish, I can play the one little video that I've got here about the some rocket launches there of the Natal University. I have played it a couple of times, but Paul, I don't know if you've seen it. I can quickly play that. Right, so Paul, it's over to you. Papa Echo 1 Alpha Victor Papa from ZS1 Mike. No, sorry man, where am I? It's Brian, but he said he's not coming back. Peter, it's over to you. Switch on the tops. Give it some there, above 12 kcs. Give it a bit of lift there. Where GW7BZY. For the group from ZS1 Mike.
Peter's gone so high over the tops that he's fallen off the table. Michael, would you like to take it in the meantime? Echo Alpha 7 Kilo India Romeo from ZS6YI. My goodness. Okay, Frank, you'd like to try and come aboard? Golf 8 Papa Quebec Hotel from ZS6YI.
Hang on. Yeah, G5IMO. Yeah, Frank. Turn my volume down. Frank just put on the chat that he's had to go. I'm afraid, Clary. So I don't know what's happened to Peter. And what happened to Michael? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to say cheerio to everybody. Incidentally, those little RF chokes. Yeah, the actual E-probe is sold allegedly working up to 30 megahertz. So anyway, those little chokes for the on there, the one on the output, they're 470 microhenries, and they are the ones that they supplied. So, but anyway, we'll see. Okay, I'm going to say cheerio to everybody, and see you all next time. So I think it's back to Paul, isn't it? Yes, Papa Echo 1 AVP to take, I think, G4IMO.
Okay, well, it still seems to work. That's good. Again, stations who were on the air, I received you all well. First of all, Gary, while you made your transmission, I was reading the text underneath your transmission, and instead of Pluto, the T is missing. So I see Pluo or something like that. So perhaps you are able to change that. Yeah, being humble. I think I'm a humble guy, but there are certain limits. That is the problem. And okay, I can be rude then. I have to admit that. Frank, ZS6 Golf Echo is also watching the net. Good afternoon, Frank. And he asked, don't reflectors look out of place on your car? And I have to admit that. That completely looks out of place. So that means that if I buy some reflectors, I simply glue them with double-sided tape on the car and take them off again after inspection, because the car should be as original as possible, that's what I will be doing. And then Leon, you talked about the inspection, that it is much easier in South Africa to go for inspection on your car. You can nearly do that everywhere. Well, in the past, that is true. Only, I think, 500 meters from my home, there was a inspection office, but due to the fact that for economic reasons, everything is centralized in the Netherlands. So I could choose between Amsterdam, which is 35 kilometers away, or 37, something like that, or Leeuwarden, and then I need to drive about, I think, 100 kilometers. So I did prefer Amsterdam. Well, I can tell you that people in Amsterdam can also be rude. Apologies if people from Amsterdam are watching the net. Okay, and clear about the HF distortion and the test which you have made, Leon. Well, that's all. That's it. Also from my side, I did enjoy the net. Thanks a lot. Wish you all a really nice week to come. And as stated before, next week on Sunday, I will not be able to participate in the net. So that announcement was made already. All the best to you all, and till next time. I will show my test card. Let's do another one. Perhaps there's a bit of music, but you won't mind.
Yeah. Just trying to get my lights on. Come on. Wakey, wakey. Ah, modern technology. You can't rely on it, can you? I've got 2 remote controls here for the lights, and neither light will switch on. I guess it's the software, so I'll do it in the dark. Well, it's not that dark, is it? Yeah, I seem to the running order went a bit chaotic there, didn't it? So I've crashed in before Gary got to wind it up, just with a few comments. Although I don't think there's many people listening now, so I'm probably talking to myself. But I just have one observation for myself. Really, this is why do we always say the sound is out of sync? Why? Why do we say the picture's out of sync with the sound? It's the picture that's out of sync, not the sound. Let's get that right, shall we? And then the other thing is, I am absolutely astonished that people are still using ADSL in England. This is insane. I mean, some people sound is a second class. Yeah, absolutely, Peter. Sound is second class citizen. That's a comment from Peter on the chat. By the way, which chat are we using? You know, I don't watch YouTube. I watch the chat on the BAT chat site. I don't know why people don't use that. I can't be watching both. I have too many other things. But some people think of Spain as a third world country. In fact, I say it sometimes, and in some ways it is. But I can tell you this: I moved to Spain 26 years ago or something, a long time ago. And I had ADSL, and about a year later, I had fibre. Yeah? And Spain's a massive country. It's huge. And they've done the whole country in no time at all. In fact, I think they were the first country in our part of the world, in the Western world, let's say, because we can't say Europe now, that would exclude England, wouldn't it? Although, no, it doesn't actually. England is in Europe, it's just not in the political system. England is in Europe. And Spain were way ahead of the rest of Europe in that regard, and in many others as well, like solar power. There's massive amounts of, I think 25% of the electricity comes from solar. Yes, I know you're going to mention the blackout, but they found the solution for that. They haven't found a solution. They found the cause. Yeah. On the HF cut-off frequency, my immediate thought was the diodes, because they have we all know, don't they? They have capacitance as well. In fact, they have 2 kinds of capacitance: there's junction capacitors, capacitance, and parasitic capacitance. SCOTI diodes have much less, so hopefully they are SCOTIs. If they're not, you want to change them. That would be my suggestion. But the other suggestions are very valid, of course, and probably more correct than mine. But Leon did mention both, actually. HF noise. Well, it's very quiet here, actually. I'm not actually in the middle of a city, but I'm not in the middle of the country either. I'm kind of on the edges. And it's pretty quiet. Not at night, but during the day, it's very quiet. But I can't contact anyone because everybody's given up using HF. So it's a bit of a waste of time, really. So I just concentrate on this TV. I've still got the antennas up there, but the radios, because of lack of space in the shack, I've moved them into storage. But frankly, I think the whole ham days are on the way out. I think it's coming to an end, slowly but surely, because they're slowly taking all the UHF bands and the gigabyte bands away from us as they invent more satellites. Not for us, but for other reasons. Mostly military. We all need that, don't we? And then when it comes to 77s, well, I can't transmit on 77s here because everybody's got car keys, and if I transmit the gates won't open because the receivers on the gates are absolutely wide open. You know, no matter what frequency I transmit on, it stops the gate, it saturates the receiver. So I think it's on its way out. Actually, maybe not in my lifetime. I mean, I am 80. Well, I will be in December. So hopefully it'll last long enough for me. But the satellite might give up the ghost first, of course. Good explanation on the coloured lights, Leon. And you're in agreement with whoever else it was that commented. Very good explanation, though. Very good. I'll take it from that. So that's it. So finally, it's back to Gary to wind it up. From a EA7 KIR, over to Gary.
Okay, we'll make this the final from my side and close the net. Been a very interesting net today, and yeah, some interesting questions raised and nice discussion. By the way, we've got 72 people viewed the net today on YouTube, 16 concurrent, so that's excellent. And I want to just once again welcome all the YouTube chaps. Don't forget to put the little you like the thing and then subscribe, and then when we do switch the YouTube channel on, automatically you are advised, and you can tune directly onto it. In case I forget to put it on the various links. I forgot to also say hello to Frick Wolf, ZA6 Fox Whiskey. He always watches as well. He's very interested. He built his own QO-100 satellite up and down link transceiver from first principles, and it worked very well. But he doesn't come on these days. I think he's needing to find a suitable driver. Well, with that, I'm going to say 7-3 to everybody. Thanks for coming up. Have a nice week. We hope to see you guys next week. And Paul, we take note. You might not be here, but let's hope some of the other guys come on as well. I think Mike will be back by then. I hope so. And I actually sent our dear friend G8 King of England a quick WhatsApp this morning to say, hey, we're missing you, man. Where are you? Old Martin, he did a great job in my absence, and forever thankful for him holding the thing together for a long time. So with that, 7-3 to all. I'm going to close station, close the net, and switch off. This is ZS6YI from near Johannesburg, South Africa, saying 7-3 to all. Cheers now.
Okay, Gary, as promised, I'll quickly roll that video of the rocket for Paul. It's not long. So yes, this is at Overberg Test Range, the place where I work, and it's the University of KwaZulu-Natal working on their own rocket project. So they launch the things there at our place. They've gone much bigger now, so hopefully in, I think it's about March, April next year, I'll be videoing again, and yeah, they'll be launching things again there. So here goes.
Okay, can you just confirm all the press contributions and stuff like that? Over.
P5, over.
P5 at 0 bar, over.
And P6, over.
P6 at 0, over.
Did you secure this little thing? Yes. Cool. Plug in.
Okay, I got connection. Turning it off.
Okay, it's off.
It's off. Okay, testing, turning it on.
It's on.
It's on. Okay, turning off.
So
you want that on?
Yeah, I just want to check the results.
Okay, yeah.
And then do we
Okay,
have these pins recorded? Shall I take both of these quick?
Lights on?
Both lights on, yeah.
Okay, off. Just send it quite a few times. Okay.
Oh, okay, cool. Cool. Do we have these pins recorded?
Your cable doesn't.
We should be.
Back around.
Good. Yeah, that's good. Drop it, please. Okay. Good. No, it's fine. We'll go straight here. Okay, your camera is going.
Yeah.
Your alarm that you need one to you want it to come along with this here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stick it this way. Cool.
Thanks. Okay.
Are you admiring him right now?
Yeah, look at it.
I don't know how to track that. I'm trying to process it.
So latest is 10:15.
10:15.
So I think let's make that 10:15.
Okay. We make the Rudolph, we can wait until we're not going to start filling propellants until about 10:15. So I recommend we get back in touch at 10:10.
Close valve full, over. Now it's closed, over.
So I'm thinking that we push the decision out. Look, we have to push the decision out because if we go ahead, we're banking on them moving out of the thing and they may not do it. And then we sit for 5 hours.
No, I agree. The winds, are they still?
Winds are all good.
Okay.
Winds are good.
Then I'd say we played safe.
Yeah.
Afternoon at this stage. And this is miracle in the boats.
This afternoon, it's just
Yeah, sure.
Is it the toe or is there something else that we don't know?
No, it's not. I'm sure it's me, right? If I get to the coast. Yeah.
So I have to point out the balance of the tower will be much bigger, then it's more easily low. The risk is high. 61.
I think we're going to go anyway. I mean, what are we going to say?
62.
Yeah,
starting now. 35. 30. 25. 20. 15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Launch. The countdown is starting now. 35. 30. 25. 20. 15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Launch.
Okay, that's it. From Worcester, 70 miles from Cape Town. Cheers everybody, it is One Mike signing off now.
I think I doubled with Gary. Apologies, Gary. But thanks a lot for showing this video, Leon. It's the first time actually that I saw this. Really impressive what you're doing at the university. A lot of expertise is needed to launch such a rocket. Yeah, there was one question that came up. I do assume that you are monitoring that rocket during the flight and that you get additional data out of it. And also regarding the purpose, I assume that it is all related to knowledge building at the university and building additional expertise. But again, really impressive. Oh yeah, and let's say knowledge building is not only related to the technical part of the thing, but also the cooperation within teams to get it done. Again, impressive. Thanks a lot, Leon, and till next time.